Hey guys, it's James with Max Muscle Davis County. I wanted to thank you for joining me today. And what we're going to do is kind of go over the sheet that you would have seen while you were in the store. So if you got the scan today, we may have been busy and maybe we gave you the time. I'm just doing this to make sure that you get the information. So it may be just a repeat of what you already learned. It may be a little bit more helpful also. So basically what the Inbody 570 does is it sends through electrical frequencies down here, a 5, a 50, and a 500, and it sends it through each arm independently, each leg independently, and then your torso or trunk as they put on here. And so what it does is it measures the water balance in each of the tissues in the body. Now, fat is about 5 to 10% water maximum. Bone is about 25% water. Muscle is around 80. Most organ tissues are around 80, and like brain tissues around 90% water. So understanding that water is very prevalent in the body and should be at least 50% to 70% of your total body weight. So as we look at this sheet here real quick, I'm going to go from the top to the bottom and from the left to the right so you can kind of see what's going on. So as you can see, this person, they put their ID in as Jane Doe, whatever, their height, their age, their gender, and that's what you would do today if you put in your phone number. I prefer phone number because no one's going to duplicate that. So coming down to the first section on here, we have your total body water, sorry about that. And I'm sorry that this keeps popping up on my screen saying what it is, but that 60.6 right there, that is total body water. That's how much water is in your body at this time. Now your water will be divided up in what we call intracellular water and extracellular water. The intracellular water is composed of what's inside organs, bone, muscle tissue, things like that. Extracellular water is what's in the bloodstream, and the water that's in between your cells, things of that nature. So the two of them together equal total of 60.6. This person has a balance that I'll show you a little bit later that kind of is a little alarming, but you know what, we can go over that a little bit down. So the next one is dry lean mass, and that's right here. So dry lean mass would obviously be everything but water and fat, because that's what's left, right? Fat after this. So if you didn't have any water in your body and you had no fat, this person only weighed 21 pounds. So you add your water and your lean mass together, dry lean mass, and you come up with lean body mass. Now that is all the healthy tissue in the body that is providing some kind of function or support. And so that's what drives the metabolism. That's what basically allows you to function. And so the next section down there, as we see at 48.1 pounds, is the body fat. Now going down to the next section, we have muscle fat analysis. Now the human body should be fairly balanced here. We should have equal amounts in percentages or in a balance of fat and muscle. And I prefer, obviously, if you were an athlete or someone that works out a lot, to be fairly lean. Your body fat should be actually, lower than your muscle on this scale. So if we start here, we have weight, skeletal muscle mass, body fat mass. Now this person, if you look in this little section right here, this gray equals, that means basically you're within the normal range. So this person is 130 pounds, their muscle's at 90% of normal at 43.2, so they need to add some muscle mass. And then their body fat's way up there a little bit in that 200 plus range, so at 48 pounds. So that makes a C shape, if you will. Right here it kind of goes C shape, okay? We want to make that into a D shape. So the muscle comes up, the fat goes down. So the next section is obesity analysis, and that's basically what we kind of can use to see, sorry for the word obesity, it does kind of portray a negative thing, but the reality is this is just information, and what you choose to do with the information is what determines if it's good or bad. So we have BMI, so we know that's a kind of a flawed system. It's using your height and your age and your weight. Really, it's more height and weight. And that was determined a long time ago just to kind of predict health issues. It's really not that effective these days, but generally speaking, doctors still use it. The next section is percentage of body fat. So how many pounds of fat compared to your total body, how much of that percentage is fat? This person's at 36.9% body fat. So they have some opportunity here to improve their health with exercise and nutrition. The next section down is segmental lean analysis. What this basically is you take this 82.2 pounds right here and you divide it up across the arms, the legs, and the body. So this person's arms, legs, and upper body are about 100% of what they should have, this person's greatest opportunity is their legs. So they're down a little bit low on the legs, and that could be atrophy from just not using it, sitting at a desk. Maybe they had some injuries or something that prevent them from using their legs, but that should be above 100%. All of them should be, in my opinion, is at least of what I've seen. The next section down here is extracellular water divided by total body water. Now, this is where your body's trying to balance what's inside your cells versus what's outside your cells. And this can help us see if maybe there's some issues going on with the way your body's using water, where it's storing it. This person is at almost 40% of their water outside their cells. That's not healthy. I would probably tell this person they should go see a doctor, to be honest with you. But I have not seen anybody personally in my store up that high. If it's above 0.38, it could be something where you're not drinking enough water, surprisingly enough. You could be taking in too much salt. Your blood pressure could be a little elevated. And so you'd want to probably consider, looking at improving your water intake and cutting your sodium back and maybe doing some kind of cleanse. The next section down is how we track history. The 4 things we look at immediately, as soon as you scan a second time, we'll look at this and compare. All right, did the weight go down? Yes. Did the skeletal muscle mass go down? Yes, but that's probably not good. We'd rather have it going up, obviously, right? Their body fat went down, the percentage, and then their water actually went down here too. So as you can see, every time you come in, you can get a scan and get an analysis on what's going on. What we prefer to see is this body fat doing this, the muscle actually going up, and your weight coming down. I like to see the water fairly consistent because that shows me that your body knows what it's doing. If it's jumping all over the place, it could be, you could be a little dehydrated, things like that. So what I recommend generally is people say, well, what's the best way to scan? Generally, just be consistent. That's the best way to scan, is come in and get scanned so that you can see your results. If you come in at 5 on Tuesdays, do the same thing every day on Tuesday, and they come in at 5. So eat the same similar foods, drink about the same amount of water. Don't try to, eat a lot one day and then don't eat enough the next, because you're only going to kind of mess up the numbers and it's not going to help you. So just be consistent. The next section up here is body fat and lean body mass control. So what we want to do here is, first off, let me just say that for women, 23% is about what you want to be, generally speaking, for general health. You can be less than that. You could be a little bit more than that. That's really a personal preference, but this machine is designed based on what the World Health Organization has determined is the best. So 23% for females, 15% for males. So in order to acquire those numbers here, obviously we would like the lean body mass to be at 100% of normal. So it's telling them to gain about 5.5 pounds of lean body mass and to lose 21.8 pounds of body fat. So if they did that exactly, all these lines would be perfectly up and down. Again, I like to see a D shape, not a C shape, and not necessarily an I shape, if you will. So I would prefer them gaining about 10 pounds of lean mass and losing the 21 pounds of fat. So that's just me. So the next one is segmental fat analysis. Now what that is how does this person store their fat? Do they store more in their upper body, lower body, trunk, whatever? This just kind of gives us some information. And what we can do in the store, because I've been doing this a long time, probably done 5,000, 6,000 scans. I've seen patterns in the way that people's bodies work based on how they store their fat. So based on that information, we can tell you if you have a carb sensitivity, most likely, if you are prone to doing really well with high weights, low cardio, high cardio, low weights, things like that to help you out. And so knowing how much fat you store on your body and where is very helpful. A lot of people come in, they joke around and they say, oh, I know where I store my fat. But it's not necessarily where you think you do, it's where the machine tells us you do. The next section, which is very important, is basal metabolic rate. Now what is that? It's basically all the metabolism in the body. And remember, metabolism is the growth stuff and the tearing down. So anabolic, growth, catabolic, breakdown. So catabolic activities include breaking down your foods, tearing down old muscle tissue or organs to replace it with new, replacing new tissues, building things. Those are anabolic activities. So everything all together, so hormone balance, heart beating, brain function, liver, all these things, this person burns about 1,175 calories a day. Now, a lot of individuals will say, well, that's what I should eat then, or less. And the problem with that is, consider that if that's what is needed for your body to do everything it's supposed to do, then you probably don't want to eat less than that. I generally tell people, you're going to want to eat that minimum and then create activity through exercise, right? To create more of an imbalance between what you're putting in your mouth and what you're burning. So we don't want to cause problems where your body figures out how to cut calories and how to do things, but we want to actually rev up your metabolism through nutrition. The next section is visceral fat. Now, visceral fat is the organ tissue fat. It's the stuff that's around your intestines, your liver, your gallbladder, all those places. And you want to be below 10 on that, generally speaking. And there's some things tied to high visceral fat and potential, like what's called metabolic syndrome, which can be high blood pressure, high cholesterol. It could be prediabetes. It could be all kinds of different things. And so, again, this isn't designed to scare you. It's designed to give you information so you can make the appropriate adjustments to your diet and what you're doing. So this person's at a 12, so I definitely want to get that down a little bit. So using this sheet here real quick and another one, I'm going to just give you some ideas. If you're in the store, if you have your sheet on the back of it, it should have some supplements on there that can help. And I'm just going to go through those supplements real quick so you can kind of get an idea. This person needs to lose some fat and they need to gain some muscle. They need to, so basically they need to also get their kidneys, if you will, or their water balance a little bit better. And I think a nutrition consultation with some recommendations or part of our VIP plan, they could get on a nutrition plan that helps them get the best results. So let me check out this other sheet here real quick so you can see what I'm talking about, and then it'll be a side-by-side comparison. So if we look at this, here's that same sheet, right? Sorry that it's a little small, but anyway. So this person's water is where I'm mostly concerned, so we're going to come down here first. Is over here, if their water's out of balance, I'm probably going to recommend they do something to support their adrenal glands, and that they're going to also do some kind of cleanse to help their liver and their kidneys. You might as well take care of all the cleansing process. So for this person, I would recommend the following things. L-Tox. This right here is an excellent liver support system. Just make sure that it's detoxifying your liver and it's getting the results on how it processes all the things you put in your body. Number 2 is Cortex. That's going to be your adrenal support and how your body is balancing out the hormones that help control water and how you store it. So that's a huge thing. We want to focus on that as well. The other thing that we'd want to look at is this cleanse and lean right here. That's going to help with the way your body's regulating water as well. It's going to help cleanse out the large intestines, the colon, which is where a lot of water absorption actually takes place, and vitamins and minerals as well. So we'd probably want to take care of that. So those would be the 3 things that I would recommend for the water imbalance, and to help them actually lose some unhealthy matter that's maybe built up in their intestinal tract. So that's a great option there. The next section, looking down on this over here, is we need to gain some muscle. Okay, so this person better be using some weights. They better go in and spend some time weight training. Consider weight training as a way of changing the structure of your body, whereas cardio is just about burning calories. So for people to get long-lasting and more permanent results, they need to lift weights, okay? Let's be honest. You want to build muscle. Muscle pulls on bone. Bone supports muscle, so you just create a much stronger structure in your body. So this person is not probably eating enough protein, and they're not getting the workouts they need. Now, the USADA or whoever it is that makes up the regulations sometimes on what they think is the amount of protein is really low, and it's for sedentary people that don't do anything. So that's not you, that's not me. Let's face it, we're trying to create a body that we're going to take into our old age and be happy and healthy and be able to do things we want. So the protein here is going to be a big deal. So for this person, there's a couple options. If they're working out fairly hard, we want them to recover. And so this product here called ARM, that's the best product in the store. It's a blend of carbohydrates and proteins, vitamins, minerals, everything you need after a workout to make sure your body is in the perfect state of recovery. Today's workout is only as good as yesterday's recovery, so don't leave results on the table. That's what I'd recommend. Number 2, they're probably, if they're working out hard, they need to have some what I call BCAAs, branched chain amino acids, which are right here. BCAAs are unique in the fact that they help support your muscle during exercise. So they help limit the damage done to them. They help supply energy so that as you're working out that you have a little more endurance and the ability to get results. And they also help turn on what's called mTOR, which allows the body to start rebuilding itself more rapidly. So that's a great option. If they want a pre-workout, I'd recommend FBX 2.0. It has a few carbs in there, along with all the other benefits of a pre-workout that help them get the best result. And then I'd probably recommend over here this Max Pro. Max Pro is going to help them, they're going to use that as a supplement throughout other parts of the day when they're not getting enough protein to make sure that their body's still in an anabolic state, meaning growth, building new tissue, get rid of the old stuff, helping the new stuff build up stronger. So those would be the things I'd recommend for weight gain as far as muscle mass. Body fat loss. We definitely need to lose some fat here. There's a couple options. So we want to rev up that metabolism, weight training, and a little bit of cardio is going to do that on that side of things. But if you wanted to use kind of like a fat burner, Emerge is a great option. It has 10 grams of fiber, and it also allows your body to increase thermogenesis, so the body's ability to burn fat. So it tastes good. It's in a powder form, so you can drink more or less depending on your tolerance to caffeine. Let's face it, caffeine is going to be in pretty much any weight loss supplement. So people do get great results when they combine exercise, right amount of protein, recovery, and some kind of fat burner. The next one down I jumped to is Lipo Red. That's a very aggressive fat burner in my opinion. It uses African mango and raspberry ketones in addition to all the other stuff. And that does help target the brown fat. It's the fat that burns calories just like muscle would. And it's pretty amazing. I've gotten great results from that and so have my customers. Liquid Carn right here. That is something that you can take with a pre-workout and you just put a little bit in. It is stimulant free, so you can add it into other things or just take it by itself. So liquid carnitine or L-carnitine is an amino acid that helps our body burn fat, kind of like it shuttles or helps the fat get into the part of the cell that actually makes energy. And without carnitine, you wouldn't burn any fat. So our body does produce it. We get some from food, but this would definitely accelerate the process. Yep, the other thing that I maybe recommend is this CLA. So the CLA is a good healthy fat that actually helps your body lose abdominal fat. When we say you cannot spot reduce, we mean you can't exercise to spot reduce, but you can choose how your body's processing what you're putting in there, and that's a great option. That's what I do for fat loss here, and just make sure, again, they're getting the protein they need to do so. The next section down is going to be, so we pretty much have covered most things over here. The way they store fat, this person isn't too bad, but I'm seeing a little bit of a carb sensitivity. So that's why taking a higher protein with low carbs, like the Max Pro has 30 grams of protein, only 2 carbs. If they were to take a scoop, a couple scoops a day or a scoop and a half, whatever we determine they need, they're not going to get carbs with it. So they're going to keep their carbs low, which is going to help them tap into their fat stores a little more readily. So this person, I'd recommend that. Now their metabolism at 1175, you know what? We want to increase exercise here so that we can feed them more, so that they can get better result. You need to fuel the body, right? And so we're going to recommend that they, get at least a 500 calorie burn a day through exercise, in my opinion. Another thing that's going to help with the fat loss, and we'll just kind of transition into this right here, this visceral fat, is if you're not eating greens, your body has a hard time getting rid of extra fat. So I'm going to recommend either the Power Greens right here, or our other greens drink that is fantastic, and a probiotic. So if your body's not processing what you're putting in there well, you're going to have a hard time getting rid of fat. They probably need a multivitamin if they're not getting one. They're not getting it from their food, that's for sure. And so a multivitamin would be helpful. And because they're higher on their visceral fat, for men, I usually have noticed if you have high visceral fat, say 12, 13, 14 and higher, your testosterone is probably a little bit low. And so what we want to do is maybe address that, and that's this testosterone section here. We have something like this Aravex, which blocks estrogen production and helps you get rid of it, which obviously we want if we're a man, to keep our testosterone up. Now the 2TX naturally raises our unbound or free testosterone that helps us lose weight, have more vitality and energy. ZMA is zinc and magnesium, helps you sleep. The MyT is like 2TX, and the MTX is just a general overall testosterone support. I've used them all. I've gotten great results out of them myself. So those are the things for men. Now women, again, we want to help them lose weight because if their weight goes up too much, then they end up having hormone imbalances as well. Now I'm not able to help them as much as say a man because we have supplements for that. But you know what? The Cortex for women, the L-Tox, the GHTX, so that's a growth hormone support, glutamine, sleep aids. You know what? If you're in the cortex specifically, is because if those hormones get out of balance, you're going to have a hard time losing weight. And we want to focus on just getting you, the results that you deserve through exercise. Another great option here might be the Sculpt, which is as a peptide form of collagen. Now, collagen is the most abundant amino acid for structure in the body. That's for all health in the body, so that's something we'd consider as well. But there you go. There's the scan and kind of some ideas on supplementation that I definitely want to thank you for, coming in and scanning and going over this sheet. And again, am I trying to get you to buy stuff? No, I'm just trying to give you solutions. You know what? The information is only good as what you do with it. So if you say, you know what, I want to improve my health, what am I going to do? You're going to put in the effort in the gym. You're going to eat right. And if necessary, you're going to supplement properly. Now, the last thing down here is this Max VIP Club. That allows us to help coach you on your nutrition. So we can give you your macro breakdown. So macros are protein, carbs, and fats based on your carb sensitivity, and a few other things to help you get better results, because that's really what it's all about. It's helping you get the results you deserve. So, that's a monthly subscription, but with that, you also get not only weekly scans and making sure you're doing okay there, but also the specific macros, and there's a couple definite benefits and supplement discounts on a few supplements as well that we're going to recommend with that plan. So we definitely invite you back into the store. Come in, mention you watch this video for a 10% off on your next purchase as well. And you know what? We just want to do what we can to help you get the best results. And thanks for joining. And we'll see you next time in the store, and have a great day.